Yo, welcome to the Nightly Strange.
Thanks, God.
Welcome to Nightly Strange, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, D Mac Uno. Special guest in the building, I.A.N. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm blessed, brother. How about you?
I'm good. No complaints. Round two. Yeah. Man, so let me ask you a question. What got you into starting to do Christian hip hop?
Yeah, man. So basically, I started with music when I was maybe 7, 8 years old, right?
Yeah.
My grandpa in shout out to Baba, that's what I call him. So I'm gonna give him a shout out. But my grandpa, he had a garage band, one of those Logitech microphones, it was a little stick thing,
Yeah.
and I was just curious about music. Cause I grew up listening to 50 Cent in elementary school. My parents would pick me up, we'd be bumping it on the way home. I was like, I really want to try that. So got to his basement. He said, let's just see how you like it. I was offbeat, talking about animals, numbers, all that, childish stuff. So that's how I first got into music. But then my testimony came about, when I was, battling depression and self-harm and, being people having a standard for me, having autism, he can only go this far, he can only do so much.
Yeah.
So when I came to Christ, I started feeling like I was called to do something more powerful within music, not just talk about the same old thing everyone hears, on the radio and stuff. Just do something different and maybe inspire people while doing it. So, that's where gospel rap came in, man. I feel like God just put it on my heart to do that for, not just myself, but others that need to hear the message and maybe can get healing from it.
Yeah. And so growing up with autism, how old were you when you got diagnosed?
Yeah, so my parents, they had always I'd been through tests and I'd, done different things. And I don't know exactly, I can't tell you exactly when I was diagnosed because I didn't find out I was diagnosed till after I was out of high school. So, I knew I was in special ed. They said I had ADHD, which I knew about that. And I knew I had anxiety, all the other stuff I was messing with. But I didn't find out till later on that I was on the autism spectrum. And I think in a way that might have been a good thing because I didn't use that as a crutch throughout school.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to just find that out. And so, yeah, man, that's the best answer I can give you. I don't know when they exactly found out, but it's there.
And how did that kind of affect your life growing up a little bit with autism? Was it a struggle or is it just kind of something normal for you?
Yeah, so obviously there's different levels of autism. A lot of people, when they see me, they don't necessarily pick up on it initially, but for myself, learning, I was, a little bit harder to teach, and then socially I was very awkward initially, not wanting to, I was trying to fit in too much, what I'm saying? And it just wasn't my comfort zone. So it took me a while to find where I was comfortable socially and all that and just teaching all that stuff. So it was just, I never put two and two together until I was older, obviously, but yeah, it definitely had some shakeups. I was kind of the awkward one out, but I didn't know that, so I just kept pushing.
Man, you've been out here for a while making music. I remember the first time I interviewed you was with DPH, and we were at the BCAT studio for the Kitsap County Uncut. Yeah. And how has the transition been from, physical media to digital media? Do you feel it's helped advance your career, or do you feel like it's still kind of a thing you needed to adjust to?
Yeah, I think it's definitely helped me because at that time I was 16, 17 years old, and that was the physical copies and stuff, they were still there, but digital was also starting to make, a come up. So I was already kind of bracing for that. I was already kind of getting into that stuff. So when it became more of a digital world, I think it was easier for me to adapt compared to other artists that may have been around longer doing it. Just because, it takes everybody some time to adapt if they've been doing something for so long. For me, I was just fresh into it. So I was willing to learn it, and keep going with basically the revolution or evolution of, how music is becoming. And so, yeah, I think it was an advantage for me in a way, especially looking back now where I am today and knowing, certain strategies and things that you can do online to help boost your numbers in your music. So yeah, it wasn't too hard of a transition for me, I think, but I definitely understand why it was for others.
Did you have a lot of music uploaded on DatPiff?
Yeah, I honestly did put some stuff on DatPiff. I don't know if it's still up there, but to anybody watching, don't go check that because that music is crap. So Yeah, don't look at my DAP if that's even a thing anymore. So
Well, it's like they put it all into an archive, right? But like, it looks like all the personal music that we all had, all that stuff is gone. You
okay,
can
praise
find like
God.
you could, yeah. I like my little Dat Piff Bad microphone music, man. It was good out there. You know what I'm
No, I hear
saying?
you.
So what's one of the most frustrating things that you have to deal with out here in Kitsap County with making music?
Most frustrating, I would say, I went. How do I put it? So it's not frustrating for me personally because, like me, I'm a humble person, right? In my music, like
Yeah,
if you want to support me, it's all love. If you don't share it, I could care less type thing. But I think looking at like Kitsap County as like artists and stuff, I notice it's starting to get better. People are sharing each other's stuff. People are showing more love. But in the past, at least I had noticed a lot of people would say, if you're not part of my group, I'm not going to support you type of
yeah,
thing, even though there's no beef. And it's just like, man, I just want to see everybody win, right? Like in my city, like, you know, for me being a Christian rapper, there's only so much I can like share on my page. But like behind the scenes, yeah, I'm gonna like your post. If I support, what you've been doing, I, see you being consistent. You're invested in your time and your music, and that's all love to every artist that may be watching this. Like, why is he not sharing my stuff? It's because I gotta protect in a way like the brand, but it doesn't mean I'm not showing love to you. So, just to make that clear. But I think just seeing people come together has been, you know, better than what it was. But I think we can still do
yes.
better supporting each other. So
Yeah. No, I remember I think that's what kind of killed the scene before, is because everyone's fighting for last place. Basically, is how I look at it. Nobody
yeah,
wanted to share. They would hate on each other. Resources were limited at back then, and it is nice to watch. I mean, there's still a little friction out here, but hopefully we'll always overcome it. I mean, you've built up quite a catalog and a following, right? So let's put
right.
that on notice for everybody. You have over 3,000 listeners on your Spotify,
Yeah,
right?
praise
So,
God.
yeah, praise God. And so, what helped you kind of build that and get to this kind of stature you're at now with your music?
Yeah, I think definitely, like you said, like the digital aspect of coming into music, right? Like learning that content is king. I've heard you say it, many people say it. And the thing that I think people need to understand is like, it's cool to have, like, for example, a music video shot for a song, spend 400, 500, whatever plus it is on a music video. But my advice is if you got a single, spend that same money on a rollout for like, just vertical shots like TikToks, Instagrams, YouTube shorts, because the shorter media is going to get people engaged to go check out the full song. So
Correct.
that's been like a big thing for me. That's just one step of advice that I do. Then when you follow up with those reels, TikToks, whatever, any social media they're putting out there, I like to run ad campaigns on it. So like I'll do meta ads, Instagram ads, whatever, TikTok promos and boosts, because I mean you can literally, like, it seems like it's an expensive thing, but like for the longest time I do $1 a day for a month. You know what I'm saying? So that's $30 for 1 month, but it's pushing the algorithm to people that Instagram thinks might, engage with your content based on who already follows you. So you're getting new people hearing your music, and you may get 10 followers, 20, it doesn't matter. Like, you just got to put good quality content out.
Yeah.
So that's one. Another thing is like getting on organic playlists. That means like going on Spotify, seeing which numbers are real, right? And like seeing which playlists have movement, that have, there's a website, I forgot what it's called, but you can look at it and make sure it's not like faked. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't just have bots running the playlist, running up
Yeah.
numbers. So you can look for the people, like their emails. So I do that for most of my songs. I'll reach out to these curators. I'm part of Rapzilla's distribution team, so I have a distro team that reaches out to like Spotify curators, Apple Music curators, and then they'll put them on like the organic, like the what is it called, the editorial playlists. So that's been helpful too with boosting the numbers. I mean, you just gotta invest in yourself, and you gotta put in a lot
Yeah.
of time behind every song. That's my advice, man.
Yeah. No, that's very true. It's a lot of people, everyone has, when you start to make music, you have the talent, but once you have to promote it too. You
Yeah,
can't just post it one time, hoping that, because I think a lot of people, they want to be at the finish line without having to run the race.
right,
Is what I've
exactly.
seen. Yeah, and then when they get there, they're like, "Well, nobody's waiting to cheer me on." I'm like, "Well, you didn't really put in the work."
Yeah,
And a lot of people learn that the hard way. Especially for me, interviewing people for 15 years. Like, I've seen it. I've seen artists come and go. They have that buzz in the city, and then it just dies down because they're not putting in the work.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you about the now infamous Kitsap County rapper list.
Yeah,
You were on there, right? And how
I
did you
was.
feel about all the commotion that was going on when that list dropped?
Man, to be honest, like it was cool. Like, thank you for putting me on there. But the drama that came behind it, bro, with like everybody freaking out. Like, I get they wanted to maybe try to be supportive, put light onto like the music scene, but that was like the Kitsap County uncut scene.
Yeah.
Let's just be real. Like, majority of the artists, I don't know if they're still making music or not. There's a few I see, that are still, doing it, but gotta show love to the new ones too coming up. I mean, like you
Yeah.
got a shout out to Jameer, YB, who else am I thinking of? I mean, there's a
Jada
bunch of
Shell, Sins
yeah,
out there. Yeah.
yeah, like
There's a bunch of artists. It's Frankie. There's a
Frankie,
lot.
yeah,
Yeah, like I looked at the list and I was like, yeah, this is all older artists, you know what I'm saying? And like the commotion just I don't know, it's a weird feeling when I start dealing with Kitsap County hip hop from back then. Because
yeah,
it was pretty cutthroat. You know what I'm saying? Like highly cutthroat. And like
yeah.
you're still one of the survivors from back then. You know what I'm saying? It's basically it's like you direct Jay Freeze, and I believe Jordy's still doing music.
He is.
And
He's
so
got something in the works.
yeah, so how do you explain your longevity and what keeps you going making music?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the Kitsap County list. Everyone's freaking out about it, right? And so
Yeah.
I think longevity wise, if you're looking to be like Bremerton's best rapper, longevity isn't going to stick with you. You know what I'm
No.
saying? Like you gotta find a larger audience than just Bremerton. That's been a big focus for me because for the longest time, like, man, no one's giving me attention to Bremerton. I'm just getting upset about it, right? And then I realized I start looking at my stats: Los Angeles, Atlanta, Dallas, and you start realizing, okay, these are like quadruple the size of Bremerton. Like, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
people listening. Like, if you go on my Spotify for artists and you look at the audience, it says, Bremerton didn't even crack the top 45 or 50 of my listeners. But these other countries, and I'm like you said, I got about 3,000 something on Spotify each month. And so it just goes to show, like, just as long as you're pushing your music to a bigger audience, longevity comes with that instead of just pushing to the same audience every time. So
Yeah. I
that's
think
that's
people
just
get
my
wrapped up
opinion.
in I think people get wrapped up out here wanting to be a hometown hero. You want everybody to know your name. You want everybody to walk up to you and be like, "Oh, it's you. Can I get a photo?" You know,
Yeah,
it's just and after a while, I mean, you'll get your buzz in the city, but if you don't advance more, people will stop coming to your shows. They'll stop listening to your music because they're like, "Oh, he's just out here." Or people start getting reserved about other people.
yeah,
And so,
exactly.
go ahead.
And I think with longevity too, like you have to have a substance in your music. Like you have to have a message that people rock with, because if you're talking about the same thing that everybody hears every day, whether it's money, women, drugs, glorifying murder in their music, negativity, like that music can buzz for a while, but then eventually, people just want a message they can relate with. And
Yeah.
so I feel like that's
Well,
big. Like you look at Kendrick Lamar, for an example, J. Cole, Lecrae. I mean, these guys have been around for a hot minute. And then you look at artists like, no offense, but like The Baby and stuff like that. They have their wave, but they're talking about the same thing. While other guys have a substance to their music,
yeah.
and people are like, okay, I need that, I need that positivity in my life to hear. Because there's power in the tongue, man. You know what I'm saying? It says it in the
Yeah.
Bible, and I feel like if people are focused on the positive more than the negative, that will keep somebody's career going a longer time.
Yes, no, that's very true. Because you can make negative music all you want, but your fans won't be around after a while. Because say you make songs about killing and selling drugs, that's cool. But then most of your fans are either going to get killed or locked up, or they're going to actually have to turn their lives around, and then
Yeah,
they're going to be like, "Yeah, I can't listen to that anymore." Like at all. It just like for a minute they had drug addict rap, where
hmm
rappers they rapped about taking all these drugs and doing all this stuff, and now you see those artists, they're strung out. Their fans
yeah,
are strung out. No one has time to listen to music because they can't afford a cell phone. It's
right.
just derogatory music, and what sells is basically positive music, like at least a good message in it. But I
Yeah.
mean, I do love me some gangster shit. Excuse my language, sir.
No,
I
you're
do.
good. No,
I do.
you're good.
I like to listen to Chief Keef on the way to work.
No, I hear
You
you.
know, everybody loves Sosa. So, Ian, do you feel? I mean, your numbers are there. Do you feel that you're still slept on in the city?
My what I'm going to say, bro. I could care less. I'm
Yeah.
humble. I don't care if people want to view me as number one or last place. I think my numbers do speak for themselves. I've been doing it for a long time. My craft has definitely developed over the years significantly, in my opinion, at least humbly. Um, yeah, but I mean, as far as like, do I care if people look at me as a big artist here or not? Like I said, I'm aiming, for bigger things, and that's to impact people. So,
Yeah. No, that's good, man. That's hella humble. So I remember you used to use a lot of auto tune, right? And at the
yep,
time, like everybody used auto tune. And bro, for me, it's like I didn't want to hear none of that.
yeah.
Like, and so what made you shift from using the auto tune, and why did you use it so heavy?
Yeah. So I'd say what made me shift was my wife. She's like, bro, shout out to my wife, man, because like she's my
Yeah.
biggest like constructive criticism. Like I can play her a song and I'm like, man, this is hard. And she's like, nah, you gotta redo that part. And so I was making a song one night. Basically, I just was writing because a lot of my times I just punch in and freestyle on my auto tune songs. That's what I would do. So finally, I took up one night. I'm just gonna write a full song about something with like some substance to it, and not do auto tune, just rap it. She came down, she heard it, and she says, "Why you been using auto tune this whole time? Like your voice, it works. You just got to keep doing it." And
Yeah.
so that built some confidence into me because the reason I did use auto tune was one, it was trendy, but two, I just didn't have like the confidence in my natural voice yet. And I think it's a bad thing to think about, going into it, but I eventually got that confidence back. And then my homegirl Cash, she brought up a good point too, because I was trying to make an auto tune song about 2 years ago, and she was like, "Do you think you can perform that live?" And I was just like, I mean, if I have my auto tune tool, and she's like, why do you need a tool type of thing?
Yeah.
Just do something that, people rock with, that you can do it live. So it was a confidence thing, initially is why I used it. And just because it sounded cool, but it didn't sound cool looking back at it. So,
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
I mean,
shout out to my wife.
shout out to your wife, man. That's good. You got somebody around you, and it's good. That's what people need to realize. You need to have good people around you that aren't just going to be yes men.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Because that'll throw you off and take you into a place you shouldn't be, and then you're like, well, why isn't this working? Because nobody wants to hurt your feelings. But no, I'm the same, man. Like it's weird. The first time I recorded something and heard my voice, I was like, that's what I sound like,
Yeah.
and like kind of makes you like, oh man, maybe I should change it up and stuff. And you know, so let me ask you about this. So they have this Bremerton Hip Hop Festival coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
And did you submit any music to it?
I'll be honest, brother, I have not. But after I've been seeing everybody talking about it, I definitely feel like I will send a couple songs in, just to show love, man. Because like
Yeah.
I respect people putting on something for the city. It's not been done in the city for a minute, if even at all. I don't know the history that well, but it's been a while, if so. So I think it's Direct, right? He's running it.
Yeah. Direct is.
Yeah. So shout out to him, man, for just trying to do something different. I don't have anything against it. I know some people have their feelings of why was I not put on the table, and you can have those feelings. I get it. It's kind of funny. My guy Cutthroat, man, he told me, he's like, man, I should have put you on the ticket too because you got the family friendly music. So,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
but it's no hard feelings out here, man. I'm just glad to see people doing something for the city, and so I'll definitely send a couple things in. So.
Hell yeah. No, like I think it's pretty good for the city. I guess I look at the bigger picture. I mean, everybody's looking at the here and now, and I'm just looking at the impact this will have because there's not a lot of places you can perform out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're lucky, somebody, they might let you perform at the Charleston, but it's either I.A.N or what's Chaos. It used to be the Village, right? And it was Chaos Bay, right? And the rappers that were going there performing before, they messed it up so bad, Chaos Bay stopped letting rappers perform there.
Dang.
Yeah, because they were outside drinking in the parking lot. And the crazy thing is, the rappers that were doing it don't even rap anymore.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Wild.
Like, I don't know if they're listening, but you destroyed a whole spot we could go to, and you don't even, follow the craft or do the music anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I look at it. Like, I try to look at the bigger picture. Like, there needs to be more of a hip hop scene and more things going on out here, or it'll just die down. And then all the artists that are performing right now, in 5-6 years, people are gonna look at you like, oh, I never heard of them. Who are these people? Like, you guys are doing that. Like, these guys are doing the Kitsap County rapper list.
Right.
Yeah, my bad. You know what I'm
No,
saying? I get emotional about my hip hop out here.
no, you're good,
So
bro.
yeah. So how do you balance, a healthy life and your music?
Yeah, so basically, I have days that I set aside for just music, content, stuff like that. Then I have my days, obviously, with my wife and my family. So I think a lot of people try to fit it all in one, which can be difficult because you're trying to be like, oh crap, I gotta do this, last second running for like content, and for me, it's like I said, I'll get the short content, maybe take 2-3 hours on a Saturday, to just go shoot some reels, and then that leaves me with a week's worth of content to put out when I roll out an album or a song, and then recording music. Yeah, just find a couple of days to do that and just try to lock in. Luckily for me, my wife, if I get like the inspiration bug on a Thursday night and I tell her, hey, I got to get this message across in my music, like I'm feeling this inspiration right now, she'll let me. So shout out to having a supportive partner. But yeah, man, I think just putting a schedule together, bro, like, just that's really helpful. Just put it on a certain day and be like, hey, I want to do it.
My bad. Hold on.
All good.
So you recently had a feature with Project Pat in it. Can you explain to everybody kind of how you ended up getting that feature from him?
Yeah, so basically, Project Pat, he posted up on his story, hey, I'm doing features. And I was just like, okay, that's super dope. So, but obviously I've heard of, bigger artists doing that, said like I've heard things of like The Game scamming people on that. Be like, yeah, send me this
Fat
amount.
Joe.
Yeah, and then just not give them the verse. So I reached out to a couple people that I knew, that were somewhat on my level that worked with Pat. And they gave me like some advice on how to reach out to him, what the process was. And so, and a rough amount of what I might have to spend on it. So that way I came in knowing what to talk with him on. And so we worked everything out through the DM directly on IG. He sent me his verse within like a week, maybe less. Super down to earth though about everything. Really helpful throughout the process. Like when the song initially dropped, Apple Music wanted to be mean to me and hold it back, thinking it was not a real feature because I'm a smaller artist. So I let Pat know. He said it's been an issue before, and like within 2 days, his team sent Apple Music or sent me a notice to send to Apple Music through my distro team at Rapzilla. Like, hey, it's legit. So Pat was quick to move with that, and even though Apple Music kind of hurt the release numbers on their site, Spotify's been going crazy. It's almost at 30K right now. So yeah,
Nice.
shout out to Pat, man. He's been super dope.
Yeah, shout out to Project Pat for sure. Like when I first started doing the podcast, I was like, 5 years ago, I was asking like, because you can go to people don't understand that you can go to Instagram and send messages to everybody.
Yeah.
And so he was the first actually big artist to respond. And at the time he wanted like a couple $100 for the interview. I ain't got it, bro. I'm doing this in my mom's basement. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was still nice because he'll correspond with you. He's really down to earth. Really, a lot of these artists are actually really accessible.
They are.
Which is it's pretty nice from what it used to be. And Ian, how do you stay humble?
How do I stay humble? That's God, bro.
I mean, don't you want to be just like, I'm the best out here. I'm rocking it. Check the numbers.
I think it's just my spirit, man. I want to see everybody win, and I don't want to make everything about myself. At the end of the day, like I said, I'm here to point people to God. I'm not here to point people to me. I have a song on my album called Not Your Idol, and it's basically speaking on my goal isn't to be anyone's idol or number one. It's, if you hear my music and you're inspired, look to God, not me. So I've always just had that approach ever since God put that on my heart.
I respect that. And so you have a new album coming out. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's called I.A.N because I just recently rebranded from IC3rd to I.A.N, so I wanted to spin off to something like, making my name into something I am new, I.A.N. And so the album basically is, if you look at the cover, half my face is broken, my shirt is ripped, the other half is just, fresh and regular. And basically the concept of it is, life before Christ and life with Christ, and finding who I am versus being lost and wanting to hurt myself. So it's just really it's an album to paint a picture about like the battle scars I went through, but also the wins that God got me to at the end of the day.
That's good. That's dope. And when's the album coming out?
Yeah, it's dropping August 28th. this summer. I have an album listening / release party the same day in Silverdale at Holy Grounds Coffee Company at 5 p.m. So if anyone wants to pop out and hear the album before it drops by a few hours, it'd be super dope. They're going to have coffee there. Sure, they'll have some snacks for people who want to eat.
Will there be cake?
I don't know if there'll be cake, but they'll have something there.
If there's cake, I'm there. Like,
I'll get you.
I can't eat it. I just want to look at it. You know,
just get a cake that says DMAC on there.
Yeah. But like, no, this is me.
Yeah.
So, Ian, I appreciate you coming on to the show, man. If people want to work with you, if they want to find your music, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, best way to contact me is through my Instagram, to be honest, man. It's I.A.N. You can message me on my personal Facebook too. I don't care. I'm an open book for y'all. Just make sure it makes sense. Because if you want me to get on there talking about trapping, it ain't gonna work. You know, but I have nothing against it. I'll be praying for you. But yeah, man, just get at me. I'm happy to, be in touch with people who support or want to work with me at all times.
Do you feel it's easier trying to get fans that listen to Christian hip hop than it is to like kind of like regular bass hip hop? Well, I guess hip hop has different genres to it, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you're pretty successful in the Christian world, and you finally got Jordy to switch back to make Christian music, which is dope. Because I've been telling him the whole time. Like I'm gonna tell you a funny story about Jordy really quick. When he was a little kid, we was in church, and he was supposed to give a speech, and he was like 4 or 5 or something like that. But they gave him the microphone, and he heard his voice, and he just started laughing uncontrollably into the mic. He was like, "Yeah, how y'all doing?" Just getting all crazy, like he couldn't stop laughing. They had to take the mic from him.
That's wild.
It's a crazy story. So, Ian, what are your social medias?
Yeah, it's IamNew.Ian for Instagram. I think YouTube is like IamNew.Music3 because they have, I had to add a number for some reason because it wasn't available. But then you find
somebody got it before you.
Yeah, how dare them? But I got my streaming platforms just Ian, but you put periods between the names, so it's basically I.A.N. So
yeah.
But yeah, man, and honestly, bro, like, yeah, it's been a good journey. And to answer your question about like mainstream and CHH, I feel like CHH is creeping into the new mainstream. To be honest, I mean, you're seeing artists like Miles Manic, my brother, tapping in and now becoming a double XL, freshman.
Yeah.
That's crazy to see. So a lot of people are more welcoming, I've noticed, to like CHH recently. Obviously in Washington, it's a little bit harder to get across compared to like, say, if I was in like Texas or somewhere, people are like, oh yeah, but it's becoming a thing where people are hopping on board with it. And so, yeah, I think it's dope. I think it's gonna be a good look here very soon. I think CHH is getting there.
I listened to the Miles dude like 3 days ago. Because I was like, I'm online and he just popped up. I'm like, something looks different about him. Like he doesn't smoke weed. And so I clicked on it and listened to his, I was like, oh, this is Christian rap. I was like, this is pretty good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, because when I think of Christian or like Christian music, I'm thinking like Jesus came down the riverboat, and stuff like that. So, Ian, I appreciate you coming on to the show. Are there any shout outs you want to send to anybody before I let you go?
Yeah. First off, shout out to God, always. Put me in this position, and shout out to you, brother, for letting me on this show. I'm gonna do a bunch of shout outs. Shout out to my producers, Otto, Jordy. Shout out to everybody, all the artists here in Kitsap County that are putting in work. I see you guys. I respect you guys. Keep hustling, stay consistent, and remember to invest in yourself. You got this. I support all y'all, so just keep pushing.
Hell yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Nightly Strange. I like to thank Ian for coming on. Anybody, if you have music, you do a business, you cater, you do anything spectacular that you want the world to know, send it over to thenightly@gmail.com. If we like it, we'll post it because our love is free. I'd like to thank Ian for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Nightly Strange. Until next time.
You're welcome to the Nightly Strange.
Thanks, God.